Hey guys! So today we're making Maleficent's daughter, Mal, from Disney's Descendants 2. She's a badass dragon in this. So let's get started. Now if you've seen my doll cakes before, then you've seen all of this recycled footage. All of my doll cakes start out the exact same way. Cut it the same way, simple syrup it the same way, icing it the same way. If you want an in-depth look at how I start all of my doll cakes, there is a video for you in the description box. Once you've gotten to this point, you can start your Mal doll cake. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to roll out some purple fondant. I'm just going to roll it out enough to cover the entire dress. I just measured it, okay? So you need to roll out fondant that's about 37 centimeters in diameter. Now because this part of the cake is actually a dress, I'm not gonna smoothen out or flatten out any of the ruffles or folds at the bottom of this cake. I'm just gonna use my fingers to enhance all of the folds so that the dress looks fuller when we're finished with it. I'm gonna cut a hole into the middle, open it up with my fingers, and then add in my Mal doll. I'm just going to seal her in with a little bit of fondant. This seals her in and it also makes it so that I can decide where her waistline falls. If you haven't seen the movie yet, then this is kind of a spoiler, but I have to tell it to you because this was crucial to the design of the dress. Mal turns into a dragon. And because of that, I wanted her top to look like a forked dragon tail. So I rolled out some black fondant and then I cut it into a triangle. One that's long enough to cover her chest and then just barely touches the beginning of the cake. Now I'm going to apply this to her chest with a little bit of vodka on the back. There's no strap in the back, so this would not actually work for a real person. Now I'm using a toothpick to create a guideline so I know exactly where the tail is going to fall. That way when I create ruffles for this dress, I can keep the dragon tail in mind. Now I'm rolling out the fondant really thin and just cutting it into a shape that looks like a whale. It looks like a whale, doesn't it? Look, I'll Photoshop it for you. You see it? I'm just gonna roll it out again just to soften up all of the edges. Now I'm gonna fold it over once and just lift the edge of the bottom and it's ready. Now with a little bit of vodka, I'm just going to apply this to the dress at an angle so that when it's finished, it looks like the fabric is spinning. Now once it's glued on securely, you're going to use your fondant tool or your makeshift ghetto ass fondant tool to blend the first layer of fondant to the top layers. Now if your fondant has started to crust, you can take a little bit of alcohol, rub it in with your fingers, and then use your tool. I'm also scoring it to make the first layer of fondant feel like they're a part of these panels. I couldn't find my fondant tool, so I bought this from Michael's. The fondant set was $27, this was like $2.50. I did order a fondant set from Amazon and it was only $7. And I think it comes in today too. Now once you've finished your first panel, you're gonna repeat that process all the way around the dress. Now let's get to that tail. So first I'm rolling some black fondant into a log. And then I'm just thinning the sides out until they come to a point on both ends. You want to make sure that this tail reaches from her top all the way down to the bottom of the gown. Then I wet the entire toothpick guide with a little bit of vodka. And to make this easier on myself, I'm going to cut it in half and just connect the two at the back of the gown. I took the first half of my tail and just applied it to the dress. I'm taking the second half of the dragon tail, connecting it in the back, and just wrapping it around her waist and then finishing on her chest. Is that what I really want to say? After I added the tail, I felt like it was bottom heavy, so I rolled out some purple fondant and I just cut it into small triangles that look like the sails of a boat. Rolling it out a second time to soften up the edges. Place them on. And I'm just going to place one in between each of the panels. Now the purple seemed a little too flat for me, so I'm taking some purple luster dust and just dry brushing it onto the gown. I really want to make sure that I highlight and emphasize all of the different fabric lines I created with my ghetto ass fondant tool. Now a dragon tail needs some scales, and I'm gonna create the tail using my sriracha mold. This is my favorite Wilton's mold. Someone told me that they're discontinued. I use this a lot. I'm probably gonna use it a lot more. You can't find it new, buy it used, but buy it, okay? Now there's 4 different leaf molds on this piece of silicone. And I'm just going to use a little bit of black fondant and fill all of those molds out. Then peel them away. Now I'm gonna wet the entire dragon tail with vodka. Then take my molds and then place them onto the tail. It really does look like a dragon scale, doesn't it? Now I'm using some purple sixlets and just sticking them onto the dress to add a little bit more texture. I'm gonna finish this off by adding some lime green gumballs and some lime green sixlets onto the bottom of the cake. And voila, our Mal doll is finished. Yeah, man! This is badass. This looks like my drawing and I'm happy. Now if you haven't seen them already, I have created a whole bunch of Descendants doll cakes. 2 for the first movie and I'm creating like 5 for the second movie. It's crazy, you guys. I hate doll cakes right now. It's gonna be a very long time before I make another doll cake, let's just say that. Now I have made a Mal doll cake before. Which one do you think looks better, the first or the second? I say the second. The other one took too long and I'm not impressed anymore. Now there will be links to all of my Descendants content in the description box and at the end of the video. Make sure you guys hit that notification button if you want. You don't have to. Sometimes my content sucks, so maybe you don't want to. I get it, I understand. But I do post some really cool stuff in the community tab and you can see what I'm working on before the video's even up on YouTube, so yeah. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I love you. Deuces.